And the fist bumping of daughters and mothers. This is the Leviathan live stream. I'll be your host today, Andrew Whipple, and I'm here with Cassidy. Say hello.
Hello. Hello.
We're going to be showcasing some more Conclave with Nicolas.
Hola.
Yeah, I don't know why the Spanish accent. Anyway, so we've gotten together in the past. We've done some pretty cool things with Conclave, but it's really important right now because you guys just released Legacy of the Dweller, your very first campaign.
Yes, super psyched. So this is what we've been working towards for. It's about 8 months now. We did a Kickstarter back in September, and it was basically to fund finishing the release of the game, which is embodied in the release of Legacy of the Dweller, which is a whole new set of quests for the game. So that's part of what we'll look at today, is some of the new quests that we've got up.
All right, so what do we want to introduce first? We're all a little bit higher level, except for Cassidy, who is just new to the game in general. She is level uno.
Oh.
It's okay though. This is something else I wanted to get into, because most of the time in RPGs, when you take somebody that's lower level with you, they end up being a detriment. But right. you guys scale in a different way, right?
Yeah, Conclave is just sensitive to lots of things, but how many people are in the party is a big one. But there are a few things that are going on that try to make it easier for people to just pop in and out of parties. One is that you can join a party at any time. You can be in the middle of a quest and you can join a party. But another is that the difference between level 6 and level 1 is not as huge as it is in some RPGs. So you can have somebody along who's a little bit lower level and it's not that big a deal. The other thing is you can actually, at any time, you can take your character and you can respec them. And usually people respec just because they want to go in and they want to change the abilities that they've gained during the game. But you can also respec and not level all the way back up to the level that you're capable of being.
Right,
So sometimes, like we could go in, for example, right now, and we could each respec ourselves back down to level 1, and we'd all play just as level 1 characters. So there are a lot of ways that we try to make it so that people of varied levels and kinds of experience and so on can get together and play easily.
Matter of fact, I'm actually in the pool of reflection right now.
All right.
Respecing my character, just showing that stuff off. So while I'm doing this, obviously in any kind of tabletop RPG, when you level up the attribute points, you guys do use strength, agility, fortitude, will, insight, all that stuff. Is it important for a certain class that's, let's say, I'm a Mizor Beacon, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm in there, I'm doing some melee combat and such. What should I be focusing on? Does it actually matter if I want to get to a certain ability? Is there a primary attribute for a certain class or species? How does that stuff work?
There kind of is. There are certainly abilities that matter more to certain archetypes than others, but we tried to make it so that there are a lot of different ways to advance your characters and have it make sense. So, for example, if you're a beacon, there are a few different stats that you especially care about. You care about insight because it improves your persuasion skill. You care about strength because you'll deal more damage and hit a little bit more often with your polearm when you have that. You'll care about fortitude because you just want to, a lot of the time, if you're a beacon, you're going to be on the front line or nearly on the front line. You need to be able to take a little bit more damage, and or you might increase your agility so that you're just less likely to get hit or hit as hard. But yeah, in addition to kind of those immediate results of those stats, your stats can unlock new abilities. And so, for example, maybe as a beacon, you wouldn't normally be upping your agility a lot. But some people will go ahead and do that because maybe they want to unlock the dash skill and be able to, or ability, and they want to be able to run around the battlefield a lot faster. Or they'll go even further and they'll up their agility all the way to 9, which takes a while. And then they'll be able to, leap over obstacles and leap over their foes and attack them from behind and things like that. sort of thing that would normally happen mostly with a rogue, but if you want to focus on that, there's a direct benefit to doing it. And there are even there's pieces of equipment that you can't use unless you have a high enough level stat, and certain kinds of treasures you will never discover unless your stats are high enough. Because we only hand out treasure in Conclave that your character can actually use. We just, rather than we could have handed out a lot more treasure and just, made it all over the place and said, well, a whole bunch of the stuff you find isn't going to work for your character too bad. But we decided that rather than do that, we'd rather just give you treasure that actually matters. And we do that based on looking at, what kind of an archetype you are, what skills you have, what your attributes are. And so there's certain treasures that you won't find unless you have, say, a high agility. So there are a lot of different ways that those trait points matter, and that matter no matter what particular archetype you are.
It's pretty interesting. I just went through, and I'm a huge believer in, since I'm going to be on the front lines, and I've played enough of this game to know that taking that damage, there isn't really a class that heals a lot, except for the Beacon. They've got Invigorate, they've got a couple of other abilities, and since I'm there, on the front lines, it's a bit of a strange situation that I can heal other people while I'm the one that probably needs the most healing, as is.
Yeah, in fact, in a game that you and I have played offline, I've also been playing a Beacon who's on the front line, and I've loaded up on those healing abilities, not for you, because you haven't needed it, you've got the higher level character, but just so that I can kind of tank in a sense. Even though it's not a character that I would normally associate with tanking, it's a way to do that. That's one of the reasons there are so many abilities in the game, is to make it so that you can adapt your role to whatever your party particularly needs.
So let's jump in here. Let's go into a quest that maybe people who have played this game for free have not actually seen yet.
Okay, great. So I am going to jump into a quest where we face the Necromancer's Cabal. So this is a quest called the Arcs Apprentice, and some of the quests that have come up previously have been leading up to this. So there's a bunch of backstory that we're skipping over here, but people who have played some Conclave may have run into. And basically, on this quest, we've been finding out more and more about ways in which a group of necromancers who were trained by this creature called the Heresiarch, have been infiltrating different areas of the Conclave. And we now have finally found out where the necromancer is supposed to be located, who's kind of the head of this group. So that's where we are now. I just launched the quest. You guys I don't know if you are seeing the prologue already or not, but we should all be able to go here soon.
Oh yeah, we are reading up, and I always bring this up because I can't help it. I don't know about you, Cassidy, but when I'm reading these things, I'm trying in the hardest possible way to come up with the greatest fantasy voice ever to read these things.
Patrick Stewart. I just picture Patrick Stewart reading it.
Right? Yes.
Oh, now I really want Patrick Stewart. We've talked about how it would be cool to not even have to have voice talent reading these over the text itself, and now nobody will ever be able to do it because I'll just want Patrick Stewart instead.
Ian McClellan would be good too. You could get Gandalf reading it. Awesome.
Oh, well, okay, yeah. Let's just move down to Gandalf.
The writing is very good, though. Obviously, you guys take your story, your narrative, if you will, very seriously, and you do have choices that do make a pretty big difference in maybe who you fight or the situation that you run into. It looks like one of them is locked here.
Yeah, we don't have anybody in the party who has lore. We have no rune casters, so we just don't have that option available to us, which is too bad because it's a really helpful option, but so it goes.
What do you think, Cassidy? Should we smash the skulls? Destroying them is the only sure way to end whatever magic is at work here, or do we just run through?
Well, I am a small person, so I always like to assert my dominance in any way possible, so I always smash.
All right,
Smash as much as we can.
Let's do it. I do like how this stuff happens in real time as well. And then it just goes right in. Well, back when the Kickstarter had just finished up, Conclave was up for people to try, and it still is, right? They can play, what is it, the first 10 quests?
Yeah, 10 of the quests are free. You can play for a long time in Conclave without laying down a single cent. And so, yeah, so it's 10 quests for free, and then there are 15 additional quests, which are the ones that unlock once you have purchased Legacy of the Dweller, which is what we're playing a little bit of right now.
All right, so there is a shite load of skeletons here.
Yeah, this is this is going to be fascinating. Especially, so let me see. What level are you used as?
Okay, so I'm level 6.
Okay.
I have one of my favorite abilities, which is Long Thrust. So good. So if we can get these people to just come at us, we can probably be okay for the most part.
Yeah. Well, they're coming right at us. As you can see, they got the first round. Normally, we as the characters get the first round, but not this time.
Yeah, I'm getting peppered. So this is a wonderful thing.
Alright, so Nick, you and I are both rogues.
Yes.
I
So,
am not good at these games, so give me a little bit of strategy with this here. Tell me what I need to be doing here.
So, because we're agile, we're actually fairly hard to hit, or at least hit hard. So we can be on the front line, which is probably going to be important because we can't just let Zaz sit here and take it all. I have a spring ability which can let me get into the back of them as well. And you and I benefit from hitting vulnerable character or vulnerable foes. One way to make them vulnerable is to flank them on either side. So maybe what I will try to do, maybe not this round, but in the second round, is get behind them and set up a flank so that we can both, just take down one foe really quick.
Right, that's a good idea. Plus, remember too, since I'm a beacon, I can inspire you guys if I get the first hit. So why don't I'll go into defensive posture here, and I'll just go ahead and use one of those attacks.
That sounds good. So for those who haven't played Conclave before, one of the things about Conclave is it's flexible about the order in which people take actions. Even though it's turn-based, there's no initiative order. So I could be acting, Cassidy could be acting. It wouldn't really matter what order the three of us are doing our actions in. And that's because we don't want people to have to sit around and wait for their turn. The other thing is we're playing in real time right now, but you don't have to. We just all happen to be online at the same time because we're doing the live stream, and a lot of people do that. But you can also you can play Conclave, whenever it is that you happen to be online, even if the other people playing aren't.
So everybody's inspired now, which means that plus $1 checks.
Yeah, and a check is pretty much anything you do in the game, so that's really good. We'll defend ourselves better, we'll attack better, we'll have a better chance of recovering from any nasty things that the skeletons do to us, things like that.
Alright, so I'm all done for this turn. Cassidy still has to move, but you've got... you can do this.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a swipe at one of these skeletons here, and maybe finish this guy off, the guy that you already peppered. Let's see, there goes Cassidy.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and flank this dude.
Okay,
I'm gonna go into the shadows here, see what happens.
Whoa.
That seems like a good thing for you to do too, because you're a little more fragile than we are because you're lower level, so that's good.
I don't know what your strategy is, Nick, but usually if I'm the rogue in the party, I always like to go up to the ranged opponents and try to destroy them.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I'll be in a good position to do here. I'll take out this guy just because he's here, but then I'll probably, if there's a hole, I'll dash through. Otherwise, I'll just spring over them and then see if I can knock off some archers. Because the archers are nasty. You just don't know when they're going to gang up on one of us.
That's right, I don't like them. Look at that, 8 damage. You solidly hit them.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool too. I like how you guys go ahead and you highlight what kind of hit it is. A solid hit, of course, is just going to deal a pretty typical damage, but then you've got the crits too,
Yep.
and then when you crit, usually it comes with some other sort of status ailment.
Exactly. So if I've got an edged weapon, I'm going to make them bleed. If I've got a blunt weapon, I'm going to stagger them. If I'm attacking them with fire damage, I'm going to set them on fire, things like that. Except that these skeletons, because they do not have blood, are not going to bleed, which is a shame.
It is a shame. But you paid attention to that stuff because that wouldn't make sense, right?
Yeah, and every so often somebody catches us on this. Actually, the other day, there's a water spirit that you face later, and it wasn't. You could set it on fire, and people were like, "Why can you set the water spirit on fire?" And I was like, you're right. That shouldn't be possible. So I had to go in and add the immunity to fire ability to the thing, and that was great. It was cool that we could do it. But yeah, you forget these things. You have to look at every single foe and be like, wow, what could really happen here? So.
I do really like the idea of bravely wounding a skeleton.
Game narrative. Huh?
Yes. Now, you were in stealth, you jumped out of it, and it's pretty cool. You've got the icons all set up too. I just clicked it right now. This skeleton, number 1, is flanked and vulnerable, so normally as a rogue, I believe you have Deft Blow, right? But now you have Telling Blow, which increases the damage done by 4.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Rogues really thrive on the chance to either flank somebody or, if they are dazed or off balance or staggered. There are a lot of ways that you can make a foe vulnerable, some of which rogues can kind of do on their own, like fainting, but others of which other party members are better at. So that's one of the many ways that we try to encourage teamwork within the game.
Excellent. And I just let that boggart know who's boss.
Yeah, I think we're doing pretty well here, actually.
It's beginner's luck. You guys are riding off from my startup here.
Oh, you just took some nasty damage right there.
Oh yeah, you may want to hide again.
Let's try it. I've got dash, defensive posture, and move.
Don't worry.
In your second action is the one where you'll have the chance to hide. So you could just either move or defend and then hide in shadows the next one.
I think we can do.
I got you covered.
Oh, nice. That's good.
Aw, thanks, man.
No problem. That's the voice of my guy.
He's from the Jersey Shore. That's cool. Got your back against these boggarts. Alright. So I'm hidden in the shadows.
You are.
I'm gone. Okay, cool.
Alright, let's hit this dude. Yeah, another crit, because that's how I do things.
Nice.
Is there a maximum amount of damage it can go up to?
No.
Alright.
No, there's even a foe that blows up and damages itself, and I think it deals 100 damage to itself in the process, just to make sure.
Yikes.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna keep maneuvering around these guys. This is another thing that's nice about rogues, is the ability to be attacking and moving at the same time. So I'm going to try to dance around this guy, finish him off, and at the same time get over to the next archer.
Parting blow.
Yeah.
Yep, I like that a lot. So you've got all these different minor challenges and major challenges moves. Was it necessarily something that you guys absolutely had to have for each character as a kind of super move?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, usually the major moves, the challenges anyway, are the ones that deal a ton of damage for the most part. But you can only use them a couple times with, for instance, rogue.
The way that we structured it, we made sure that at first level, every archetype had a couple of different built-in abilities that they could use anytime they wanted, at-will abilities that were different from the other archetypes, that really distinguished them and kind of set the tone for what that particular archetype was all about. So, for example, as a beacon, you have built in, every beacon has that lead by example ability that lets you hit and inspire the people around you when you hit. A lot of the abilities that you gain as you get to higher levels are these they tend to be a little bit more complicated. They tend to be a little bit more specialized. They tend to be a little bit more limited in how often you can use them per combat. These abilities that add flavor to your character, add kind of more specific capabilities, and let you tailor the character more. So yeah, those do tend to be either once per challenge abilities, or they tend to be like upgrades to existing abilities that you have. We didn't want to give people too many different at-will abilities, because then they all just kind of compete with each other.
Fair enough. Now, what's the max level you can get up to anyway?
You can get up to 10th level, and 10th level is pretty fun just because there are abilities. So we unlock new abilities every 3 levels: 4th level, 7th level, and 10th level. And 10th level is where we expose some of the really crazy abilities, like the Rune Caster, for example, which is an archetype that focuses on kind of more elemental magics and channeling magical energies directly through his or her body. Starts being able to cause eruptions directly in the ground. So you can take a group of foes, and you deal them all a bunch of fire damage. You create rough terrain all around them, and you create this big lava geyser right where the central foe is standing. So you get a lot more of those really big dramatic effects. The beacon gets the option to take an ability called Desperate Maneuver that you can only do if you're inspired. You lose your inspired state, but in exchange you can hit every single foe that's within your weapon's range, things like that.
All right.
So that's something to look forward to.
I healed myself. I think I'm good.
Okay, cool.
All right, I got a random question here, Nick.
Yeah.
Who did all the art for the character models and stuff?
Sure. So for the characters themselves, all of the art was done by Chris Ron. He's an artist we found Chris through the work that he'd done on Magic cards, actually, Magic the Gathering. And we were looking at Magic just because it was a great way to look at a whole bunch of art at once and really look and see, well, who's done a lot of a portrait artwork, and who seems to have a sensibility that matches what we're going for with Conclave. We really liked what Chris did with a few things, but one of them was actually with light. He does wonderful things with light and luminosity. Some of my favorite portraits are ones that really evoke that. And so, these little tokens that are moving around the battlefield, those are all his art, but they're all crops from much larger portraits. So, like, if you click on your character, you see a larger rendition that shows a bit more of the art. But in most of these cases, the artwork is considerably larger than even what you see there. Mm-hmm. Then the foes that are on the battlefield, those were done by Devin Knight, who is somebody that we found who's done a lot of specifically token artwork, usually for paper and pencil. And we just liked how good he was at characterizing foes in this very small space, being able to evoke that's basically 75 by 75, a lot of character, or something that's really evocative of, in this case, like a skeletal archer. Okay.
Yeah, because that was the one thing that really struck me when I started it up. I thought the portraits especially were really impressive.
Yeah, they were one of the things that we commissioned very, very early on, and I think that was really good for us. You could have argued that we were doing it way, way too early, but we already had a pretty good sense for what the world was supposed to be like. And I think that having Chris then take these descriptions and depict what these races that we had been playing with in our heads and writing about in pencil and paper, having him visualize them so well for us and add details that we had never considered really helped us advance our understanding of our own world, if you will. Mm-hmm. So I think it was actually one of the best decisions that we made with the game, was to commission that artwork even when we were only at the very, very beginning of the creation of the game itself.
Cool.
You know, cool. It's even more ridiculous, Cassidy, that I think, didn't the same person draw a bunch of custom portraits for, what was it, the Spirit Collar package or something like that?
Yeah. So when we did the Kickstarter, one of the things that we did was offer a very high tier where people could have custom portraits done. And so we had 6 different people who participated at that level. And it has been actually really fun just to work with them to see what it is that they would like to have done in Conclave. You know, do they want to have themselves kind of rendered as a Conclave character? Did they have some character from one of their own role-playing campaigns that they want rendered? Did they want something entirely new? But we had some great portraits come out of that, and portraits that are so good that at some point, actually, I'll probably be talking to some of those supporters about whether they would like to have those portraits worked into the game itself in some way, whether it's NPCs or not. Yeah, some of them are really good.
That is cool.
Yeah, we've got and for the first time, we actually have a funny portrait being done right now. I'm really looking forward to being able to share that one with you. But we have a backer who decided to go ahead and have himself done, but with I'll just say an amusing companion. So looking forward to share that.
Oh boy.
So it looks like we're faced with another choice.
Yeah. Okay.
So while we are trying to figure it out, we'll let Cassidy decide again, because I have actually finished this quest. You gotta talk about the music. I really don't think that there's any time that you could showcase a game like Conclave and not talk about it. What's special about the music, Nick?
Well, there are a lot of things that are special about the music, but the key thing is that the music was all done by by Sam Hulick, and he is the guy who did music for all of the Mass Effect series. He's doing music for the Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition. He is a great guy, and he was kind enough, amused enough. I don't know what it was, but when we pinged him and said, "Hey Sam, we've got this game. It's an indie game, but would you be interested in maybe doing some music for it?" He said, "Yeah, actually, I'd be really interested in that." And so it's been a blast to work with him. He's such a smart guy, and I think that he's had a really good time actually working on Conclave and working in the indie context. We've talked a lot about just what's different working with an indie group, and part of it is that we don't know what we're doing. You know, my background in music is that I really enjoy music. I'm not somebody who's a creative director who spent a lot of time thinking about music in the context of video games before, for example. And so I think that actually gave him a lot more freedom than he sometimes has. He probably had to do more work as a result too. He had to kind of work with us to figure out what it was that we wanted and help us discover that. But the way that we ended up doing the music, we decided that it would basically be oriented around moods. What were the moods? What mood would we want to convey at any particular point in the game? And so there are these pieces of music that get used sometimes in combats, sometimes when you're trying to make a decision, sometimes as the story is being told. But we've got 10 different tracks that are involved, and I think they all came out so well. So anyway, I just feel deeply indebted to Sam for deciding that our project was worth his time, and he's been great also about this. I think he just loves to talk about Conclave. I think he genuinely enjoys the game a lot, and enjoys having had this experience of working with an indie team.
As great as a story as that was, with some serious trouble.
Yeah.
Cassie decided that we had to slip in, and we're hurt. We fell, and now she's bleeding, and
Yeah.
there are bone crawlers everywhere. Good lord, I'm trying to make my way over so I can heal and do the good stuff.
Yeah, so normally in a combat, we'd all be in our nice little formation. You saw that in the last combat, but we fell down a hole here and we're scattered all over the place, and then the undead rose up and are trying to kill us. So things are a little tough.
Yeah,
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah.
I think we'll be okay. If I can get close enough to Cassidy, I can heal her, and I think we can hold everybody off.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume the defensive posture here.
That seems wise. I'll take out number 5 here in a moment.
Just be bleeding everywhere, slashing around with a little dagger. I don't think that's smart.
Well, I mean, if you can, yeah, all right.
I think I can take out number 5 and then maybe step into its place. So another thing for people who are watching, as rogues, we are dual weapon wielders. I'm going to use one weapon to try to take out number 5, and then rather than spend the time to attack with, well, no, I'll use a parting blow to step into where number 5 is. This all assumes I can take out number 5 with my blow. That's the hope.
Oh my. Okay. Alright, just healing a little bit. That's
Yeah.
cool, that's fine.
Okay, I got it. So here we go. We're going to step in here.
Alright. Okay, so you got, alright, number 5 is gone.
Yep.
We can take out number 7. I'm almost there. I should be there next turn.
Yeah, we can do this. We're going to do this. It's all good.
That's good. I'm glad that everyone is so excited. All right. I'm coming up. I'm stepping on rubble, so I'm off balance and very upset. Oh, perfect. Here we go. This is for everyone. Yay.
How are we doing here? Oh, thank you. Turn the tide.
That's
Yes.
right.
Happy, happy, joy, joy.
And Cassidy is no longer bleeding, miraculously.
Yay!
Hey.
Hey.
Fortitude check. Yay.
It's a good day after all. Alright. And
So-
cut here.
Nick, why don't you explain what the off-balance condition, dazed, just afflictions like that actually do? Because I've got a
Yeah.
couple on me.
Yeah, so the game has about, 10 of these negative afflictions and only 3 or 4 positive ones, which you can take from that what you will. But these are all states that persist on your character for an indeterminate amount of time. The length that they last depends largely on your traits. Each one of these conditions is kind of opposed by some other trait. So for example, being off balance, you recover from that by making an agility check. And the chance of recovering gets easier and easier each round that you're stuck with it. So eventually you will recover from anything. But the more agile you are, the more likely you are to regain your balance. The higher your fortitude, the more likely you are to recover from being bleeding. The higher your will, the more likely you are to recover from being dazed, things like that. And all of them have a range of minor to major effects on play. Like, if you're off balance, it's not that big a deal. Basically, it just makes it so that you are vulnerable. So foes that can take advantage of you being vulnerable may be able to do more nasty things to you. Whereas something like being poisoned can be a lot worse because it reduces your fortitude and makes you take damage every turn.
Yeah, I don't like any of those things.
And we've actually relied a lot on the conditions in the game to represent things, I guess because, first of all, there's an opportunity to put that nice icon up there that just lets you know what's going on. And second of all, because we have a lot of abilities then that depend, like, there's certain abilities you can't use on a foe unless the foe is subject to a condition, or that you can't use unless you've already got some positive condition working for you. So they kind of create an organic way to build combos or synergies into the game.
Well, I was hoping, instead of killing that guy, I wanted them to stay like that so I could use long thrusts, speaking of combos, and then I could just hit both of them at the same time. But, of course, these gnarly skeletons just Don't want to do that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think you're right. We'll make it through this now.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried at first when I saw that Cassie had been really, really throttled at the beginning, because we also took damage just from falling into here. But I think we're in pretty good shape. Turn the Tide certainly helped a lot.
Now, does that happen to anybody that makes that pick for this quest, or is that randomized?
Anybody who made that pick would be falling down at this point, yeah.
Okay.
What
And
would have happened
they'd end
if
up
we...
bleeding?
I'm sorry?
They'd end up bleeding and injured and stuff?
Oh, no, that part was because the bone crawlers attacked you. So we fell down, we took some damage from that, and then in addition they got the first round of attacks on us because we were surprised by the fact that we fell down this hole. And so they each got their moves and they attacked you, and you ended up bleeding from their raking claws, basically.
Gotcha.
One of them sort of got a crit on you.
What would have happened if we chose the other option?
We would have entirely skipped this combat, but
But
great. The good thing is that I believe we have an opportunity to find some treasure down here, and that's good. We want that treasure, and it'll also be an opportunity to show everybody at home how treasure works in the game.
All right, well, yeah, let's see what happens right after this, because you've made a couple of mentions of treasure, and when we play an RPG, damn it, we need our equipment, we need our treasure.
Yeah, let's talk about that actually, because when we created Conclave, we of course knew that, but we didn't actually have treasure in the game at first. In fact, there wasn't any equipment you could even select at first. You just had whatever came with your character, and some of it would kind of would upgrade automatically with your level. But we knew that everybody loves treasure. So first we added the Vault of Arms, which is a place that you can go after you have finished a quest to go and take the renown that you've earned from beating the quest and kind of trade on your reputation to be able to get better and better equipment from the people who run the Conclave. But in the latest version, in the version that was funded by the Kickstarter and that you're seeing here, you can also find treasure while you are adventuring, and that has turned out to be. It seems like that has turned out to be just as fun as we had hoped it would be. In that, as we were saying earlier, or I can't remember whether we said this during the stream or beforehand, but we've got a lot of people in the forums who are just spending a lot of time simply trying to find out what all the treasures are in the game right now, and tracking what it is that you have to do to qualify for them.
Well, all I know is I'm taking the treasure.
Well, the treasure gets granted directly to individual characters. And this was another thing where, we talked a lot about this. Do we let people divvy up the treasure themselves? Do we implement how many different ways, for example, has World of Warcraft had to offer to people for how treasure gets divvied up? Roles for who gets it, and looking at who last got treasure, things like that. And in the end, we said, you know what? Is that actually that fun? And is that actually worth the time that it takes? And is it worth the frustration of maybe not being the one to get it this time? And we just said, you know what? Let's instead only give you a treasure when it's something that's useful to you, and let's make sure it's always useful to you, and let's just grant it to you directly. We're not going to get into trading or anything like that. We're just going to give you the treasure, and if you want to use it, great. And that was a I guess kind of a gamble. We weren't sure exactly how people would react to that, but it seems to have worked really well.
It's just another layer to the game, because at the Bastion you can only buy, what is it? Since you're a rogue, since you both are a rogue, you can hold 2 weapons and then just some equipment, so like a chest piece. But with some of the various things that I've found, you can actually equip boots and like gloves, a cape or something. There's just a ton of stuff that you can just continuously throw on your guy to make you even more resilient.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And at first we keep it pretty limited. It is just a few kind of equipment slots that are available to you and that you're going to find stuff for. Again, also just to keep things a little bit simpler for the new player. Your equipment early on tends to be very straightforward. It just boosts how much damage you do, reduces how much damage you take, things like that. But as you go on, you start to find more and more treasure and access more and more equipment that grants you new abilities, uses new slots, and so on, so that your characters have many, many more options in combats as you get to higher and higher levels.
All right, so let's finish this dude off.
Yeah.
In the bottom right-hand corner, when he's got the little icon of a person there.
Yeah.
What do those signify?
So if you click on it, you'll see that he is flanked and vulnerable right now.
Oh, okay.
So you can see, and that'll tell you that he gets -1 to dodge, and that abilities like our Telling Blow ability get turned on by that fact.
Oh, shoot! Cassidy just found a pair of faintly glowing gloves.
Yeah,
I was in the,
hey,
I was in the market for those. I'm glad.
So Cassidy, you will get to see what those are once we return to the Bastion, which is the central city of Conclave.
Okay, cool.
All right, that's fine. If you survive.
If you survive.
Oh boy,
So
there's
we'll be
no
good.
doubt into that. Don't jinx it, I've been doing so good.
All right, let's see. What do we have here? No. Again, the fantasy names. Is that Issa? Or how do we say that?
I always say Issa, but one of the wonderful things about writing these things is that you don't necessarily know how they're pronounced. No, we actually, we have pronunciations for all of this stuff, but it doesn't come up that often.
That's good. I always appreciate a good name. All right. Oh God, skull wraiths.
That'd be horrifying.
I don't like all these skeletons. How come necromancers always have to deal with skeletons?
Well, actually, the other necromancers that you face earlier on tend to do more with reanimating fleshier things, but this particular necromancer is a bit more fastidious, and she prefers to have the flesh rendered from the things that she raises.
That's very nice.
Actually, when we were working on this quest, Derek described this particular necromancer as the Martha Stewart of necromancers.
I don't know what to think of that.
I wasn't sure what to think of it myself, but I actually had to clean. You see, this particular map actually is much cleaner than it used to be, because the original version that I did, we looked at it and Derek said it's not clean enough for this character. She would have everything more scrubbed. So there used to be a wonderful, long pool of kind of washed out blood that was running from the table at the center to that grate up at the top, but we cleaned that out because she wouldn't do that.
I really, really like the idea of Martha Stewart being a necromancer.
I wonder if she would.
All right. So I'm gonna move down here, dudes, while Cassidy is flanking these things.
Yeah, we'll provide a distraction here.
All right. And I'm gonna move right in the corner, so as they come up and bite me or nibble on my kneecaps or whatever it is they're doing, I'll hopefully be able to use long thrusts and hit a couple of them.
Yeah, that may well work out here. All
as
right.
long as they don't go up. I don't know why they would.
Yeah, they shouldn't. They don't see Cassidy, so... Here, let me just throw a knife at one, and then we'll move on here.
Would that actually affect these things, though? Let's be real.
This is another thing that's interesting in these games, is that you can come up with these situations... Well, as you can see, it didn't.
Wow.
And that's because skull wraiths take less damage from edged weapons. Now, we could have gone as far as to make them immune, but that stinks, especially if you're solo. We want people to feel empowered, so there are a few places like that where kind of game fun takes precedence over pure realism.
Oh my God! Share agony. Are you reading this? As the creature's gaze bores down upon you, your very spirit twists and writhes, and your mind fills with fragments of the wraith's tortured existence. Okay.
I'll admit I wrote that.
Yes. That is not good.
Pop that in a bedtime story.
Right. And I'll also tell you that I play this game with my 11-year-old daughter. So
I hope so. Did she write that?
I hope not. Yeah, that's actually been funny. It's that puts a little bit of a check on how explicit we make some of the stuff in the game. Even though we have all the COPPA protections that you have to have on any web-based game that basically say, are you 13 years or older? We know that a lot of people are going to circumvent that stuff and come in and play anyway. And so we've been a little bit cautious about getting too nasty with this stuff.
I don't even know if I'd say it's explicit. It's very powerful. It's very well written to the point where it's kind of like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm gonna move up here. I'm gonna hit these little nasties. Everyone seems to be missing, which is no good. We need to get some kind of elemental weapons.
Right.
All right. Oh, you moved in front of me. You jerk.
No, you've got a pole arm. You don't need to be there.
I know, but I could have hit both of them at the same time.
Oh, you want to do the long thrust? Oh, here, I'll move.
No, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's over now.
No, I'm moving. Too bad. I'm getting out of the way. Oh, I'll do a parting blow. This is gonna be perfect. This was like
this
was like an intentional combo thing.
That's right.
Except that I didn't manage to hurt it, but it was a combo.
You know what would be really... That would have just thrown this game completely for a loop, as if you do things like that, and then you'd hit it, and then just across the screen it'd go, combo! Or something stupid.
Yes, if we could have done our fatalities and so on.
Alright, let's see if I can do anything. Man, we can't even hurt these things.
Yeah, these things are very hard to damage, but they don't have much health. So if we just manage to...
Aha!
Did you do something?
I did.
Oh, good.
Yes. That is very good.
Good man. Oh yeah, see, you hardly did any damage, but gravely wounded.
Right.
The second was defeated. So yeah, good.
Cassidy, if you can move to the right, I can move up next turn and try that again.
2 steps ahead of you, brother.
Oh, you got it.
Try this. Yeah.
This is the best.
I missed the skull wraith with the bronze short sword. Dang it. Hate that.
All right, let's give you another chance with your super thrust action.
Yeah, let's try it. See? Long thrust, man. Long thrust for president.
Yeah, I'm actually thrilled to see it in use. I've seen some players poo-poo this particular ability, and I think they do not understand or appreciate it.
They don't. It's all about positioning.
Yeah.
And yes, okay. This could be good.
All right.
Don't let us down, Thalia.
All right. Let's see. We'll just use a little offhand cut here. Oh yeah, that's all it took. I just casually brushed this one off.
Now, how do you know which part of the quests actually come with treasure? Like, is there an icon somewhere? Do you just have to know?
You just have to adventure and find out.
Okay.
We've thought about being more explicit, and this is one that comes up a lot. Like, how direct should we be about how an action that you take, what particular result it produces? Like, should we be more explicit when a particular choice you make lands you in a combat where you're at a disadvantage, where if you'd taken another path you'd be at an advantage? And there are just a lot of possible answers to the question. So far with treasure, we have not given people any indication other than whether you actually just see some treasure or not.
Maybe, I'm no developer, but maybe if you're on a map like this, there could be an icon, like the little treasure thing, like, hey, dude, if you beat this one, there's effing treasure.
Yeah.
You know, are you kidding?
Yep.
And this must be the Martha Stewart of
there she is.
necromancers.
Yeah.
I like the skeletal hand detail. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. She had a little accident. She was punished by her mentor. So.
Oh, yikes.
You can click on each of the people too, and they've got a pretty good description too.
Someday we may show the larger versions of the artwork here too. Like, all of the token artwork was actually done at much larger size. Like, her artwork and all the skeletons and so on, they were originally done at like 1,000 by 1,000. So we might make it so that when you click on this, instead of just seeing the token the token-sized artwork, you see a blow-up of her. But for now.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That would be pretty neat, I think.
Yeah, especially with the original artwork that you got going on, it'd be pretty awesome to see.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to jump over these skulls here, because I know they are nasty.
You're jumping over the skulls.
Yeah, she's got this pit of skulls over that she's
right, I see.
I wouldn't suggest stepping into that if you can avoid it.
You know, that is also something that's really cool, too, is that you really want to pay attention to the actual background. It's not just tiles. Jumping into the pit of whatever skulls would probably not be great.
Yeah, we try to make it so that she summoned something. Darn it. Yeah. Have you seen that before?
Yes, I have, but Cassidy just got pushing blowed. That's what I was owing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm bleeding again.
You are.
What the heck is that?
Oh.
He crit you.
Reactor, yeah.
Oh no! A bone crawler! This is not a good situation. I do not like this.
This is tricky. Oh, well that was good.
Alright, we need to kill these things, Cassidy.
Yeah, we do. Working on it. I just finished one off.
Alright, okay, good.
Doing my bit.
Doing your business. Alright, well why don't let's see. You probably want this. Ooh, okay. That's the other good thing about rogues, that dash ability will allow you to get away from trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a reason that any character may want to increase their agility to 6, because then you can pick up dash for yourself.
That's cool.
Okay. Why don't I give you a little bit of health?
Okay, that's a good idea.
Alright, she has 4 extra health now. And I will slap this skeleton upside the head with my own halberd.
Oh, got him somewhere. Alright. And let me start taking care of this one. Oh, or I could just miss entirely. Alright. Lovely.
That's really not funny.
You got pushed away.
God, these guys.
Uh-oh. Ah, another bone crawler. Darn it.
No! How annoying. Is she just gonna keep summoning these things?
Well, not if I take her out, but that's not happening so far.
Maybe we should have just went for her first.
Well, that's what I figured I would try to do. I think this is fine. If you guys can keep the other ones busy, I'll try to finish her off so she stops raising this stuff. At least the bone crawlers are individual. They're not too bad.
Right. Alright, so I'll have to blow. Aha, he's staggered. And let's see what we're gonna do. I think Cassidy could probably kill number 1, so I'll hit number 2. Just to locate our damage a little more explicit fashion. Alright, come on, man.
Good. Almost.
Alright, well, in that case, I'm gonna kill Dude Man up there.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Alright, we'll just do this. I'll just lead by example again. Because. Yeah, after a little while, you end up losing buffs, right? Isn't that based off of your insight?
It depends on the buff. So yeah, like inspiration is based off of insight. So beacons tend to stay inspired by their own ability. Other characters may not have it last as long. Things like being enraged depend on your will. Being focused depends on your will.
So you're the one that's in trouble right now.
No, I haven't taken damage. It's all good.
Yeah, you haven't been, but
I'm dancing around. These guys can't touch me. It's all nice.
yeah, Yeah, they're not hurting you, which is really nice.
Yeah, gonna be fine.
I think I'm gonna try and move up and to the right a little bit.
Oh look, when the skeletons moved, bone spikes. Yeah, I do. Whoa. I'm really glad I didn't go on there.
Yeah, have you clicked on that?
I just did. Yeah, that's not good.
Ah, she stole strength from the other skeletons. Darn it. She's healed again.
Apparently, bone spikes are arcane. That's not good. Steel strength. Yeah, let's see what that does. Fine. Oh, great. Well, she at least did damage to one of her dudes.
Yeah, she's selfish.
Good. I'm not sure Martha Stewart is, but that's all good.
I've heard lots of tales about what she's done to her assistants. So.
Alright, let's hit this guy. We gotta get rid of the schmuck. Alright, she's unnoticed. That's good.
Good, yeah.
I'll have to blow this guy. Maybe I should just use... Yeah, I might use Turn the Tide right now. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah!
Okay, good.
Everyone's healthy.
Okay. Let's see what I can do to her.
And you are a pain and annoyance to her.
I'm just standing in there going, prick, 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 prick. Ooh, gravely wounded and bleeding. That makes me happy.
So, while we're continuing with this quest, how many chapters or campaigns do you think that are going to be in the works for this game? I know it can be tough to tell, but what do you think? Do you have a certain number that you're trying to aim for?
Not really. I mean, we're like taking a little breather because from creating quests, because each one takes a surprising amount of work. There's the narratives to write. There's ideally new foes to create. And that means creating new abilities, which means playtesting those new abilities to make sure that they all work the way that we think they're going to work. And playtesting the foes with different numbers of characters to make sure that everything is as balanced as possible. And then creating the battle maps and so on. So I mean, it took us a couple of good months focused almost entirely on quest development to create the final 15 quests for the game. So we're psyched to take a little break from that for now and actually focus on some other features, like we're putting together support for guilds. That's going to be the next thing. We're also putting together some improvements in the performance so that as each of us takes our actions, we see them show up on the screen that much quicker. Like there's an up to 5-second lag right now between me taking an action and you guys seeing it. And we want to get that down to the point where it's essentially real time. And that's quite possible. It's just something we have to put a little bit of work into. So we'll probably do that stuff first, and then we'll look more seriously at the next quest. What I can say is we have lots and lots of plot written for where we want this to go next. And we also want to open up not just more quests, but some more options for people with the archetypes that they choose. There are 5 archetypes in the game, but believe me, I've got lots and lots of other archetypes created on paper, and all the abilities for them created on paper. And so it would be nice to have, I'm hoping that the next expansion will include both quests and at least one and maybe more archetypes as part of it.
It sounds great. It really does. I wondered, man, yeah, there's so much that you can do, so many abilities, and
yeah, and some of that can be abilities, some of that can be in treasure as well. Yeah, all I want is as much time as possible to keep working on this, because there's so much, even with this full release, and the game is at a point where I feel really good about it, but there's so much more that we can add on top of this this engine, basically.
All right, so let's finish this wench.
Yeah.
Although you killed her. Gotta take out her creations.
That's right.
Sending them back to where they belong.
Almost there.
So, from the perspective of somebody who hasn't played many tabletop games but is more familiar with the RPG landscape, Cassidy, what do you think of playing a game like this more casually than going home and spending several hours in that environment?
So I really like the, in a way for me, like games like this almost feel like a choose your own adventure book. And I really like that coupled with the combat just because it's like, there's a little bit more of that interaction, right? Where I don't just necessarily make a choice and then read the next thing. It's like you make a choice and then I fall in a pit and end up bleeding and there's a bunch of half skeletons crawling toward me, which is cool. And I like the way that the multiplayer is integrated too. It's kind of cool. Like, 'cause I don't play a ton of the online multiplayer games like that. So when you're working together with people and stuff, it's pretty awesome. I really kind of dig it.
Cool.
Let's take this
and
guy
the other
out.
thing is I mean, I mentioned this earlier, but like, even though we are online playing right now, we could keep playing even when we go offline. So,
Oh, cool.
if you're doing that, like, what would happen is you'd get an email every time a round ended, and you have the opportunity to play again, and then the game moves basically as fast as everybody takes their actions. So that can take place over the course of a day, or it can take place over the course of an hour, or it can be in real time like this.
Sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of, it's pretty cool. I know personally I would love to eventually see an actual application, because I usually mess around with this stuff on my phone. It'd be cool in the future. Just saying.
I know. Believe me, I want it so badly. I mean, this is what my wife tells me too. You know, she plays Conclave, and she says, you know, I like playing, but I play on my phone a lot, and I just want it to update me when it's my next turn in a little app. I just want a little app for it. And she's absolutely right. That's what the game deserves to be at its best on mobile devices. A lot of people play, and we have so many people who play on iPads, iPhones, and Android devices, at least part of the time. Maybe not all the time, but that's what they do when, like, you know, they're sitting in line waiting for something or whatever. They'll fire up Conclave and they'll see where things are at. And it would be so great if they were able to actually just launch the app in order to do this.
I feel like there's a niche for it too on something like iOS, just because games like this, I mean, there's 50 trillion games on iOS, right? But, you know, games that have this amount of depth and this amount of strategy put into it, like, they're harder to find. So I feel like it could actually be really, really cool on there.
Right. Yeah, exactly. We've had some people kind of chime in about that and say, yeah, you know, I've played some iOS games that have some of these ideas in them, but they don't have the depth that Conclave has, and they're just psyched about the chance to play that way. So I would love to be able to get more of the mobile crowd in here. So we finished the quest.
We did. We got it, but we need to see exactly what that treasure was for Cassidy.
Yes.
So you got to go into your vault of arms.
Alright, how do I do this? Am I clicking on the bastion thing, or?
Yeah, if you see the little the castle thing.
Okay. Oh, I'm such a noob. Alright. I've got, is it the Gloves of Spirit's Grasp?
It is. So what do they do?
I'm equipping them now. Let's check it out. I've got Discordant and Numbing Grasp.
So click on Numbing Grasp. You've got a new ability as a result of that.
Oh, cool. A pale glow reaches out and surrounds an enemy, briefly dampening the connection between its spirit and body. Target enemy within 3 squares has -1 to all checks until the end of the round. That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's bullcrap. How come? Yeah.
Want one? Well, it does have a disadvantage. It is discordant, and discordant means that you don't heal as well. So there's a little bit of a trade-off in equipping them.
Okay.
So, anyway. So here we are. So we played through a whole quest.
We did. We were asking a lot of questions. You were elaborating on a bunch. So I say, depending on how you guys feel, let's try one more quest. Let's try and go through it. And, yeah, let's strategize the whole time. Let's destroy it.
All right, you guys up for that?
I got new gloves to try out.
Okay, let's see. So, let's see. Why don't we explore the color of truth. Now let's go somewhere outside. We've spent a lot of time in dank corridors. Give me one sec.
Somewhere outside. Yeah, where some floating eyes will probably be.
Okay, so we're probably going to die really quickly on this quest.
Oh, great! Yeah.
Here, let's take on strange bedfellows. So we're going to go talk to the Wilderkin in the south and see if we can help them out.
Oh God, this quest will be extremely difficult for your party.
Yes.
Why would you do this?
As I said, we're probably not going to survive this, but we'll see how it goes.
Why would you do this? All right. Let's take a look at this. I think when you first start this game, seeing all this text right now, none of it means anything to you. If you're watching this, you're just like, Viznathi? Like, who is this dude? Like, who are these clans? Like, what are they talking about? The dreaming? What is going on? Who is Holy Man? And I don't know. But
yeah, well, part of it is we've just not played through ourselves here in this party so much of the content. So
that's right.
Illuminath gets introduced earlier. He is one of the envoys of the Conclave, and he's here because he's the guy who talks to the Wilderkin nation to the south, and they're the ones who have come to us with a proposal this time. A proposal to try to discredit one of the factions that's arisen within the Wilderkin that the Conclave is not happy about, and try to discredit them in the face of the king. So we shall see whether we help them out or not.
Okay. I do like how you made it more of a straight shot if you're starting just from the beginning. It chooses some quests for you. You have to get these quests to open up some new ones, and then there's a couple of paths you can take eventually. It's cool. I really like how the story really flows with it, because when this game wasn't officially out, well, you had no idea what was going on.
Right? Yeah, we put a lot of effort into when we put out the new quests. As part of the Kickstarter, we had said to people, yeah, this is a big part of what we're going to be doing. We're going to be adding a whole lot of new quests to the game. But we decided while we were at it to actually revise every single quest that we had ever created before, too. So even people who've played Conclave in the past will find that if they come back, there are a whole bunch of quests that they may think that they understand, that they played before, but that are substantially different at this point. And yeah, one of the things that we put a lot of effort into is making sure that the early story proceeds at a slower pace, really introduces you to what's going on, and that we don't give you too many options for the quests that you go on until you get to a little bit higher level, at which point there are more and more plot branches.
Oh, God, these wyvern brood queens just swoop in. So if you guys both move up, then they can't move at all. I can long thrust them to death, and we can just hit them without much of a problem. I think that'll be all right.
Okay.
It's a good strategy, right? Huh?
Sure. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Try it out.
Okay, let's see.
Oh. Cassidy moved backwards.
That's okay. I don't think they're going to go anywhere with me right there.
I think I have a delay on mine here.
Yeah, telling blow.
Yeah. Ooh, I got tail whipped.
Oh, not good. Snap, but it fails to affect it. When you write that, it seems like I'm just immune to that stuff, dude. You can't. A toothy maw strikes. Fantastic. All right, I'm staggered now too. Great.
Yeah.
These things are resilient bastards.
Yeah. Oh, they are brood queens, and this is supposed to be extremely difficult for us.
Well, we'll see about that.
Yeah, right.
Now, if we do get to a point where somebody gets some treasure and we end up failing, it's cool that you can actually start right from where you left off.
Yeah.
But do they get to actually keep that piece of treasure even if they failed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you get as long as you've reached a certain point, you can think of it as it's auto-saving your progress.
Gotcha. There it is. All right. I think as long as we keep beating on him.
I could just push this guy off. Yeah. Or I could just wound this guy and leave you up for what? No, let's just take him out.
Yeah, just get rid of him. If you can do it.
I think I can with the telling blow. Yeah, here we go. Boom. Done.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty good, right?
Flank Master Nick.
Of course, now well, I'm doing all right. Need the flank again. Oh, I'm almost dead.
You are almost dead. You were getting bitten. You need to leave.
You could, well, except I didn't. But you could maybe you could offer up a little bit of beacon healing.
I guess.
I know you don't want to.
You ask so much, man.
The numbing grasp. Excellent.
Oh yeah, I had to use it. I had to try this out.
Oh, did I miss it? I'm gonna see this thing. So what does it do again?
So the Brood Queen has -1 to all of its checks for the round.
That's right.
And it didn't actually reveal casting, which is good too.
Yeah, if you're in the shadows, right?
Yeah.
Do you appear if you make any sort of like offensive move, like an attack or anything? Is that how that works?
Yeah, if you attack or if you get damaged in any way, or finally if somebody tries to move into you, all of those things can reveal you. And there are a few abilities in the game that can be used specifically to reveal things that are unnoticed. Some of the characters can get, and there are some foes that will use them too. So you have to be a little bit careful as a rogue, especially in the later quests. There are some enemies that you will think you are safe from, and then it turns out you're not.
Okay.
Do you have any plans for PvP stuff in the future?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That'd be really cool.
I would love to do PvP, and in theory, it's really not that hard. Actually, I think a lot of the work would go into just making it easy for people to find other people to PvP with, more than it would be just. I mean, the technology for setting up the battles is not that hard. And another one that we want to do soon is make it so that you can, so the characters can summon allies or recruit allies to go with them on adventures. So, hoping that will happen.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be really, really cool, especially if you could get like teams of people put together.
Absolutely.
All right, Cassidy, it's all you. Take out this effing Brood Queen.
See what I can do.
Because Thalia is in some dire straits here, but because he moved away so far.
Yeah, I think I'll be safe.
Yeah. Now, unless she shoots some kind of fire laser beam of destruction, then we're gonna be good. Oh, you missed! No!
I know, crap.
And I missed too.
It's okay.
Ooh, I'm really hosed. Okay.
That's cool though. You missed, and you're still in the shadows.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I'm still like.
Oh, you didn't level up either? How dare you?
Oh, right, we didn't level up.
Yeah. I'm gonna do that after. Okay. Wyvern Queen uses Bloodied Rage. Oh no.
Yeah, it's angry now.
That's very angry. Oh god.
Uh-oh. Well, at least you're hidden, so it's not gonna attack you.
Wow.
Okay, I'm gonna heal you. I'm just gonna end up using my junk. So
Yeah.
let's half blow her. 2 extra damage.
You gonna turn the tide?
Yes.
Yeah.
We need to destroy this person.
Yeah, and I'm gonna bleed out without a little help.
Yeah. All right.
Unless I get lucky and recover.
We should be good this turn, because I'll be able to Valiant Strike, and Cassidy will not miss. She's going to hit with both of her attacks.
Here, I'll throw one of my dinky little knives at it, too.
I think it's also important to note that while this is like a high fantasy setting, you actually haven't used any typical races at all. There's no humans, there's no orcs, there's no elves, no dwarves, nothing like that at all.
Yeah, we got really geeky about this, honestly. Like, not only is that true, but we, like, did work on what the... kind of what the... how to put it? We put a lot of work into what the languages of the different races are like, what the syllables are, the sounds that are typically associated with their names and the words that they say. So, like, Lumen names sound very different from Mezoar names, which sound very different from Nick's names, and so on. And that's thanks to Derek, who really did a lot of the, like, kind of the Tolkien-esque effort. You know, I think part of what made Tolkien's books so wonderful was that he sat down and just spent so much time on the background, all of the mythology, and things that didn't necessarily become directly apparent in the books, but that made it all cohere. And Derek did a lot of work to do similar things within Conclave.
Oh my god. 1 damage? That's what you're able to pull out?
It's better than a miss. Be nice to me, I'm still new.
Alright. We got her this round.
We are, this is like a level 7 foe that we're facing with, as a level 1 character. That's pretty rough.
Yeah, we did it though.
Yeah. Well,
almost, yes. Alright. There's the defense. Let me just
can
this thing in the face. I did already miss once. Okay. Please just fall off into this ravine. Oh god. Alright. I cannot miss this time. There.
Got it?
Right in the face.
Oh, good. Yay.
Oh, here we go. Let's see.
Okay.
Death or taxes. I don't know.
Off to Cassidy.
No, this did not end well last time I picked. Somebody else.
No, what do you mean? You got treasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right. So what do you think? Are we refusing? Are we agreeing?
Let's refuse.
Yeah, we can't. Oh man, let's do it. I'm refusing with you.
Right.
Oh, we're gonna have to fight bandits. No. Oh my god. Well.
What should we do?
We can't do any. Well, you guys can go invisible and I can hide in the corner. That's what we could
hope
do.
they go away.
We seriously, we're not gonna live if those skirmishers stay alive. They're just gonna throw the stupid javelins at us. That raid leader is 28 health. The shaman is 28 health. And the enforcer is equipped with an ancient mace.
See, I told you, I'm never picking the route again.
But we all
the other
knew.
way we probably cut butterflies or something. We're doing this here.
Cut butterflies, yeah, that's...
Caught, sorry.
Damn, I was gonna
In
say
Chicago,
that's...
In Chicago, we don't pronounce our AUs very well.
That sounded horrifying.
That's about all I'm good for right now, cutting butterflies.
Okay, here I go. I'm gonna charge right into the fray.
Yay, good man.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna try and do. You guys are going to Oh, you're not gonna go invisible. All right, that's cool.
Oh, she did.
No,
Yeah, I'm in the shadows, man.
you're in the shadows.
Yep.
I guess I'll just wait here for a second then.
Okay. I think I'll stay visible and try to take some of the fire here.
All right, I'll wait until you're finished. Yikes. All right.
Oh, good.
All right. And if we take out those skirmishers, do you have? Let me actually see what abilities you have. I love Twin Strike.
Yeah.
It's the best.
I went for a more agile rogue here, so this has I've spent abilities on things like spring.
Wicked Sting.
Instinct, yes.
Okay. Let's move. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think we're going to be all right.
We'll see.
We're going to be blowing that horn a little earlier.
Yeah, I have this fear that we're gonna have 6 javelins thrown at a single one of us, and
Oh, it's going to be the worst. Flash freeze? What is this?
oh yeah, well they've got a hexer with them, so.
Because why not?
We came out pretty well. That's all good.
Oh, he missed me? Oh, it's okay. 1 edge damage, okay. Yeah, we all need to go in some... the same location. I don't... No matter what happens, I don't see us making out of this.
Ah.
Alright. There is a ton of dudes just throwing stuff. Let's just see.
Let's see. Alright, so do I do the terribly risky thing and dash to the back and try to poke at some of these guys, or maybe we need more of a line here?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna start forming up more of a line, though. Gonna get vulnerable here quick. I guess actually maybe staying right where I am is about right.
Well, hopefully they keep attacking me. While you guys destroy everyone.
Every bun.
Every bun, yeah.
Just returning the favor. I had to call you out on that.
You did. Alright. I'm gonna prod at the dude in front of you, Cassidy. Maybe we can take out a few of these guys.
Yeah.
Before it, I already missed.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good.
9? Alright. Let's see what you got up your sleeve, Nick.
Oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. How about... I'm just going for pure damage output here.
It's what you are.
Yeah. It's one of
10? Alright, okay.
Huh?
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Laid out a good 17 damage there. That was pretty good.
I'm on ice.
Yeah, you're on.
Great. Oh god, hooking blow. I'm staggered now. This guy is such a jerk. He used flash freeze on me again.
Oh, you saw me.
Yeah, on you.
Uh-oh, whiplash.
Great. So we're dazed, we're off balance, we're staggered, we're dying.
You're a mess. Oh my gosh, you are a total mess.
Yeah, we are. We're not
But you're inspired. It's nice.
Yeah.
I see a really ugly outcome here where this is all going to be down to me.
Right. And you're just going to hide and just wait.
I'm bleeding now. Great.
Well, at least I can take out this enforcer super quick, but now we've got that raid leader up in your face too. Huh.
Yeah.
You need some help. I think maybe I should hit this guy and then step more into the center so you're not taking so much.
Maybe, yeah. It could be a good idea.
Yeah, let me get on that. Okay, got one. Now... Oh, I hate to not attack, but yeah, I think this thing to do.
So this is unrelated, but at the same time related. with a rune caster, they have that ability to abjure a target where it decreases their willpower by 2 just for a while.
Mm-hmm.
What's the point of doing that? Exactly.
So the main thing to use that on is other foes who are using magical abilities, like this Hexer here.
Mm-hmm.
If you abjure the Hexer, then it's going to be less effective with all of its magical skills, basically. So that's the point of that. Runecasters are good against other magical types.
Alright, I'm going to heal myself because that's just what I do. I'm going to lead by example. Who am I going to hit? Probably... We need to hit the little dudes. I'm going to smack the 5th one again.
Okay.
Actually, now Casty can finish that one off. I'll go ahead and I'll hit number 3.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Number 5 is about to fall.
Let's give it a shot. I think I have a little bit of a delay on mine here.
Yeah, alright. I just did 9 to him. He's bleeding. That's good.
That's great. Okay. Phased. Falling off balance.
Looks like I'm going to be blowing my turn the tide.
Yeah, probably. I'm afraid. Come on.
Yeah, it's not great.
Of course I missed. Let's try this again. A deft blow. Take that home. There we go.
Oh! You missed. Well...
Oh, wow, we really are messed up. Okay, well, yeah.
Yikes.
We're probably not going to pull this off, are we?
No. It's not,
Okay.
it's not going to happen. It did say extremely difficult before we entered.
It did not lie. Well, if we're going to die, then I'm going to die in the middle of the fight. Here we go.
That's right.
Go out, we're strong here.
Everyone's healed up. Let's just take out some other dudes. Maybe they'll just miss. Maybe the programming won't hold up here and we'll just everyone will just stop doing what they're doing.
Yeah, maybe I should open up the console and just put a little bit of extra health into us.
Yes! Alright, there we go. So we can telling blow the raid leader.
Yeah.
I like that.
That was pretty good. 11 damage.
11? Nice.
Yeah.
That's the only thing about rogues, depending on if there's just like one person in the party that's going to get hit. They all concentrate fire on me if both of you were invisible.
Right.
Which isn't a great thing. Alright. You're no longer afraid.
No,
We
I
still
am.
all took a bazillion damage.
I'm weakened.
Alright, this is what's going to happen. Jumping up here.
Okay.
I'm going to take out 4 and 5. Oh! Yes! Cassidy took
Hey.
out 5. Alright.
She
Just
did something
offhanded.
right.
She did it.
Okay.
Let's take out this raid leader.
I mean, I guess that's the thing to do and just hope that they don't concentrate all their fire on me.
Maybe you can actually get out of here.
Yeah. All right, let's see.
Well, alright. I'm going to hit the raid leader with... Let's see, lead by example. I only did 4, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not enough. He won't die this turn.
Well, I mean, I could try to... I guess the best thing to do is just try to finish him off, because we definitely don't want him hitting any of us. Oh, now this is when I wish this character had parry. Oh, well.
Troll raid leader is gravely wounded and bleeding. Troll raid leader needs food.
All right, I defeated it. Oh, now we see. I'm terrified to go through the events here. Let's see.
Let's see. Oh! Ah!
I'm dead.
You were...
I got flash freezed out.
You were taken out.
Wah, wah.
Well, that's the cool thing, though, is that if you really think that you have a chance at something like this, you can actually go ahead and go back in that quest, and you'll start right where you left off.
Yeah.
Well, Cassidy, you need to level up. So go to the pools of reflection.
The glowing blue thing right here in
The
the middle?
glowing blue thing.
Looks very inviting.
Well,
Damn, all these abilities.
it's pretty deep for what it is, and it's awesome how you can play it almost any way that you want. Each character class plays very differently, and like you said, there's a bright future for this, and if someday we can get a nice mobile app for this thing, I don't see why anybody should just not play. It's so easy just to take a couple of turns, just a day even, and that's it. That's all you have to do. You just glance at something. It's simplistic enough that you don't have to think about it, but at the same time, I think personally that it's deep enough that you can probably put enough time into it to really think that you're making a difference strategy-wise, like some of the stuff we were doing.
Right.
I think you guys have something here for sure, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what you've got in the pipeline.
Thank you. Yeah. And the other one that people ask about a lot is tools for creating their own adventures, and that's another one that we would love to find a way to do. I think a lot of people imagine their own worlds that they'd like to build around our engine. So that's another thing that we think about a lot. But I would love to do the mobile app first. That gets right back into that. You brought up, so more adventures. When might that happen? And we just have to weigh: do we do that first? Do we do the mobile app first, or something else? So we shall see. But there will be something coming out next, and as soon as we know which thing we're going to focus on next, well, guilds will be the next thing, because that's something that we still owe a few people from the Kickstarter, and that we know just a lot of people have asked about is, can we have a way to take the people that we've enjoyed playing with, all get together in a guild, and have an easy way to find each other when there's a group of us who want to go off and form a party. So we'll be doing that next, and then after that we shall just see.
Well, I'd say that there you have it. That's our live stream. We showcased a couple of quests. If you have not yet bought the Legacy of the Dweller, got a little preview of some of that upcoming stuff. And there's a lot to be excited for in the near future of Conclave. But you can go ahead and try it out. First 10 quests completely free. And I also think, to note here, if one person, one of your friends, I believe it works like this, right, Nick? If one person bought Legacy of the Dweller, then 3 of your friends can actually play all those quests with you without actually incurring the cost.
That's exactly right. Like, that's how we're playing right now. Cassidy doesn't own Legacy of the Dweller, but I do. So I'm the party leader. I invited her to join the party. I can pick any quest that I've unlocked, and she can come along for the ride. So we tried to make it so that it was as easy as possible for one person who was into the game to just bring along their friends.
I feel like that helps people sort of get interested in it too, like drum up some interest, I guess. Just because, you're like, hey, check out this game, you gotta come play it with me, and then you go in here and check it out. Because, I'll tell you that I'm encouraged to play a little bit more, because it's fun.
Cool. Right on. Yeah, it was funny. Just the other day, we finally saw somebody else doing this, and of course it was Blizzard. But they made their change. They called it spawning or something like that, where you can play StarCraft 2, and if you're playing with somebody else who owns Heart of the Swarm, say, or Wings of Liberty, even if you just have a basic account, you can play with all of the units that are in those more advanced expansions.
Huh.
And that was really cool to see, just because it felt like a little bit of validation of this approach, that idea that that it is a cool way to get somebody interested. It's a cool way to get a taste of a pay-for thing without having to go and shell out the money immediately. So
yeah, it's almost like a lower grade version, I'd say, of, well, not necessarily lower grade, but just a different take on the free-to-play formula.
Yeah, it's kind of an extension of that in a different direction. So yeah.
All right, well, Nick, before we fade out here into the wilderness, back into Bastion, and sit and think about what we've done today. Is there anything else that you would like to plug, say to the people, the audiences? Maybe you already said some upcoming stuff. How much is Conclave? What can we...
Conclave, right. So to buy Conclave, to buy all of the quests that are in Legacy of the Dweller and go up to level 10, and you get a few other additions like being able to have more characters in the game. Normally you can have 2 characters that you're playing at once, but once you've bought Legacy of the Dweller, you can have 10 different characters active in different parties. All that costs $19. You can also give a gift license to somebody else for $15. And that's pretty much it. One of the things that we really focused on with Conclave was we didn't want to get into the freemium model where you end up nickel and diming people over all sorts of different little things. Instead, we wanted to just say, either you're playing the free quests and that's fine, or if you want access to more stuff, here's a single thing that you pay for and then you're done. You know, you're not having to pay for, I don't know.
Microtransactions.
You know, exactly. You're not having to pay in order to get access to a new kind of equipment, or in order to get the currency that you need in order for more equipment or for more actions or something like that. There's no limits on actions or energy or anything like that in the game. It's just play as much as you want of the free stuff. If you want to go on to the paid stuff, that's great. Here it is. You're done.
Well, I've been having a great time with it, and I'm looking forward to everything that you guys are going to be doing here in the future with Conclave. And I think you might have made a new lover of the genre out of Cassidy.
I hope so.
Maybe. We'll see.
I've always liked the genre. Come on now.
Yeah, I know. All right, well, thank you, everybody. Just check it out. Support 10 by 10 Room. Nick, thank you so much for stopping by. And
Thanks for having me on.
We'll go ahead and do this stuff a little bit more soon.
All right. Sounds good. Catch you later, guys.